Now, in this video, we will take one more Python pattern program on Floyd's triangle printing numbers in right triangle shape. So, the pattern is 1 in first row, 2, 3 in second row, 4, 5, 6 in the third row, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the fourth row. So, we have 4 rows and 4 columns. So, what is the code for this? The code for this is int input, enter the number of rows. Why? Because integer, because here I am converting that string into an integer here. So, initialize the value of num is equal to 1. Why? Because always when you are taking the for loop, it will always start from 0. Now, the num is, because the number what we want, we starting from 1. So, that's why the reason why we are initializing that to num is equal to 1. For row in range, suppose if I say just place n plus 1, then it starts from 0. So, since we have to start, the first row is 1, so we are 1 comma n plus 1. So, why? Because I want 4 rows, so naturally it should be 5. So, that is n plus 1, it becomes 5. So, when the value of n becomes 4, 1 comma 5, that means 1, 2, 3, 4. So, we have 4 rows. And similarly, for column in range 1 comma row plus 1. Because in the first row we have only one character, and in the second row we have 2 characters. Second row, second column. In the third row we have third row, third column. And in the fourth row we have fourth row, fourth column. So, naturally it should be, if it is 1, you will going to get 1 plus 1, it becomes 2. So, 1 comma 2, so column is 1 comma 2, so we want 1 comma 2. Suppose in the second row, that means if it is in the second row, then it becomes 2, 2 plus 1 it becomes 3, that means you are going to have 2. And then when you take 3, 3 plus 1 becomes 4, that means you are going to have 3. And when you have 4, 4 plus 1 it becomes 5, so that means you are going to have 4th row. So, you are going to have 4 plus 1, 5 columns, so that means 4. So, this is how you will go to take. And the number is incremented num plus 1, because every time the number is increased. In the first row you have only 1, in the second row first column we have 2 and then 3. So, 2 plus 1 it becomes 3. Then in the third row we start from 4, 3 plus 1 becomes 4, 4 plus 1 becomes 5, 5 plus 1 becomes 6. Then 6 plus 1 becomes 7, 7 plus 1 it becomes 8, 8 plus 1 becomes 9, 9 plus 1 becomes 10. So, num is equal to num plus 1, and the print, it will go to the next line. So, the output is in the same pattern what we have got. Now, we will try to explain individually how it will going to take. So, initially they enter the number of rows which is equal to 4. So, num is equal to 1, because I am initializing the number is equal to 1. So, row n plus 1. So, n plus 1 means n is value is 4, 4 plus 1 becomes 5. So, for row in range 1 comma n plus 1, that means 5. So, if this condition is true, then it will go to enter into the column in range 1 comma row plus 1. Okay. So, print num comma n is equal to backslash t, num is equal to num plus 1. This is the code what I have written, whatever it has been told earlier, the same thing I have written here. Now, we are going to start with this. Initially, num n is equal to 4, num is equal to 1, the first number. When the value of row is equal to 1, so the column will be how much? 1 plus 1. That is column in range 1 comma row plus 1. So, it becomes 1 comma 2. So, in the first row, you will going to have how many columns? Only 1 up to 2. So, that means it will take only 1. So, print the value of num. What is the print the value of num? Num will become to 1. So, print 1. So, that means in the first row, first column, you will going to get 1. It comes out to the inner loop. Why it will going to come out of the inner loop? And cursor comes to the next line. Here, this is the reason why num is equal to 1, print 1, end is equal to backslash t. The cursor jumps to this second row. But when it goes back, you will have only one column. So, it comes out of the column loop, but it increments to the num is equal to num plus 1 it will take. So, what is the value of num now? Num will going to become 2. Where? Exactly here. But you can't print that because once it goes to the column, so you will have only one column, so it comes out of the column that is the inner loop, comes to this cursor, cursor comes to this. So since you have a print function, so the cursor comes to this, that is second row. So in the second row, you can see row 2. Once it comes to the row 2, what is the column? Column will be 1 comma row plus 1. 2 plus 1 it becomes 3. So 1 comma 3. So that means 1 comma 2. So if this condition is true, so because column is initialized with 1, because you have 1 comma 2. So since the column is initialized to 1, is 1 within 3? Yes. So print num. What is the previous value of num? The previous value of num is 2. So it prints 2. So second row, first column will going to print 2. Second row, first column will going to print 2. Since you have the end, the cursor jumps to this. That is second column. Then num is incremented by 1. So 2 plus 1 it becomes 3. So then row 2. So then the column is initialized. The column is incremented by 1. So 1 plus 1 it becomes 2. That means 2 comma 2. So 2 comma 2, print which column you want to print. Print the number. What is the number now? 3. So then the cursor jumps to third column. But num is incremented by 1. 3 plus 1 it becomes 4. Again it goes back. The column it comes out of the inner loop and cursor comes to the next line because of the print function which is there outside the column loop. Now here you can see row 3, because the row is incremented by 1. So 2 plus 1 it becomes 3. 3 within 5. Yes. Column will be equal to 1 comma row plus 1. That is 3 plus 1 it becomes 4. 1 comma 4. What will be the number of columns you want in the third row? 1, 2, 3. So you can see 1, 2, 3 I am going to print. So the column is initialized with 1. Third row. Print, what is the value? 4. So it will go to print 4. Then it increments by 1. It becomes 5. Then it goes, column is taken with the increment of 1. So 1 plus 1 it becomes 2. Then print that column. 2 is within 3. 2 is within 4. Yes. So print that value, which is that 5. Print now 5. So then it increments 1 more. 5 plus 1 it becomes 6. So in this 6, again it goes back. 2 plus 1 it becomes 3. 3 is within 4. Print 6. So in third row, third column. In third row, third column, you are going to get 6. So num is incremented by 1. So num is equal to num plus 1. It becomes 6 plus 1 becomes 7. So then it again goes back. To 3 plus 1 it becomes 4. Is 4 is within 4? No. It comes out of the inner loop. And the cursor is here now. So print, once it comes out of the inner loop. So print is there, is in the row group. So it goes to the next row, which is the fourth row. Now you can see row 4, column will be row plus 1, 4 plus 1 becomes 5. So that means 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. So you can see 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. So print 7, because the previous value of num was 7. So it prints 7. Then num is incremented by 1. So 7 plus 1 it becomes 8. So then the column is incremented by 1. So 1 plus 1 it becomes 2. You are in row column. You are in the row for loop, which is the fourth row. Column 2. Fourth row, column 2, what should be the number? Number is 8. So here num is 8. So print that number here. Next the number is incremented by 1. So 8 plus 1 becomes 9. Then the column is incremented by 1. 2 plus 1 it becomes 3. Print number. That is 9. So fourth row, third column is 9. So you are printing that. Again num is incremented by 1. 9 plus 1 it becomes 10. Then column is incremented by 1. Column 3 plus 1 it becomes 4. Print 10. So you print 10. Num is incremented with 1. Num 10 plus 1 it becomes 11. Again it goes back. Column is incremented by 1. 4 plus 1 it becomes 5. 5 is within 5. No, it comes out of the column loop. That is the inner loop. and again the row is incremented by 1, the 4 plus 1 it becomes 5, 5 is within 5, no, it comes out of the outer loop also, and this is how the final pattern will going to be printed. Let us see how it will going to be executed when you are trying to run by using the Python program. So to do that, so here first I will type the code. N is equal to int input, enter the number of rows. Enter the number of rows. Now I will initialize the value of num is equal to 1. Then for row in range, 1 comma n plus 1. Then for column in range, 1 comma row plus 1. Print num comma end equals \t. Then I will going to increment num equals num plus 1. Okay. Then come out of the for loop, column loop, and then print the next line. So this is how you will be able to execute the program. The number of rows is 4 plus 1, it becomes 5, 4th row. So you will going to get the output 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is the pattern. So I will try to explain by individually what I have already explained to you through the debugging. So first I will going to enter the number of rows as 4. Okay. Num is initialized with 1. So row 1 comma 5. So row first the row will be 1. Column will be 1 comma 2. So column will also be taken as 1. Print num. Num will be 1. So it prints 1. Cursor go to the next line because of this. Num is incremented with 2. So you can see num is becomes 2. Column 1 comma 2. So definitely it will not go to execute. It will comes out. So it comes to the next line now. So you are in print function. The cursor is still here. Now when you enter this, so you will go to get the second row. Then row is incremented. Out is the present row 1. So the row is incremented to 2. Column 3 you will go and get. So but initially the column will be 1 now. So num is 2. So it will go to print 2 now. Then number is incremented to 3. Column is incremented to 2. Second column. So print 3. Then again it goes back. 4 it will going to be taken. Okay. Column is incremented. Definitely it is not there. It comes out. Go to the print function. It prints. Then go to the row. It will going to take the third row. Column 1. Num is 4. Then num is incremented with 1, 5. So column 2. Num will be printed with 5. Num is incremented with 1, 6. Then column is 3. Num is 6. And again it goes to the same line. Num is incremented with 1. It comes out of the column loop. Go to the print function. Cursor go to the next line. You can observe here. The cursor will go to the next line. Yes. Then row is incremented with 1. You have the fourth row. Column is 1. So num is 7. Then num is 8. Second column, print 8. Num is 9. Third column, num is 9. So num is 10. Fourth column, num is 10. Num is incremented with 11. So there ends the column. It comes out of the column loop. Go to the next line. Comes out of the row. So this is how the pattern will going to work in our Python program. Thank you.